everybody, Skylar here. We're going to be making some cultured sauerkraut. We have our cabbage here. We have both purple and green to give it a little extra color, and there's some little micronutrients that are a little different in there. The color spectrum is beautiful. We also have these beets here. We're going to be fermenting these also. We have some parsley, which is excellent at removing heavy metals and stuff from your system and cleansing out your blood and everything like that. It's also a good source of fiber, and it's mighty tasty. So we also have cilantro here. Cilantro is also great for dietary fiber and so many other things. It has rich in phosphorus and vitamin K and A and manganese, all kinds of good stuff for you, you know. We have the sea salt here. I prefer the Himalayan sea salt. It's pink naturally. It's not all chemically, you know, bleached out and stuff, and it just tastes so good, you know. And that'll actually pull the water out of the cabbage here, and as doing that, it's going to create this brine that is rich in bacteria, positive bacteria, not bad stuff, you know, good probiotics and all that good stuff. Now in mine, I like to put turmeric. Turmeric is so good. It's really nice, anti-inflammatory, all natural, and it tastes really good. It will stain your hands yellow, so be careful, be warned. I said it. Now next thing we need some jars, you know. And you want the jar, see, the jar needs to be a smaller neck than the body. That way when we put it down in there and we push it below the brine, we're going to take this here, one of the leaves on it, and we're going to push it down below it. And this little lip here is going to help hold it down. So it's like, it's going to try to escape and it's going to like, nah, I don't think so, you know. So that's what we're going to do with this. I've got plenty of jars here. Might not need all these for 4, but it's better to have it and you know, not need it than need it and not have it. You have to have a really good sharp knife, nice knife. So that's what we need. That's what we're going to do. Those are some of the benefits. Cultured sauerkraut in and of itself does so many things, you know. Like once it's fermented, you have all these probiotics in there. And like when you buy probiotics from stores, it's extremely expensive. And not just that, you don't get these readily available natural sources of the probiotics like you do with this. It's completely different. A lot of them are synthetic. A lot of them that you buy from the store is going to get burned up in your acid before you even get to utilize the probiotics. So it really helps in that aspect, but it's also good in so many other ways. It helps with acid reflux, bloating, gas. It helps with so many things like that. It also helps to metabolize sugar. See, as this digests, and you got all the probiotics in there, you know, and the beneficial bacteria, that's going to, it's going to feed your immune system, right? Because 80% of your immune system's in your gut anyways. So you need to have that balanced gut, you know what I mean, that balanced flora and everything. And this is going to help you establish that. And not only that, but then it's going to help you eat away your sugars, and that's going to release and relieve and let your pancreas kind of chillax, you know what I mean? Because it's not going to have produce as much insulin to digest all those sugars and break it all down and stuff. You're going to have that bacteria working in the sugar too. So it's good for diabetics too. So there's so many good things about it. I'll say some other things later, but right now I'm going to get all these washed up. Hey everybody, alright, we're back. I got everything washed up. The cabbage, the parsley, the cilantro, the beets here, and I got the little toppers that's going to go in the top of this to keep the brine down. Explain a little bit more later. Right now what I'm going to do is going to talk to you about cutting this properly for the fermentation process. There's different ways you can do it. You can use a knife. You can use one of these little slicers here. You can also use a food mill. I prefer just the old-fashioned way of using a knife. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this up and then get it all nice and shredded like. And then we'll start adding the salt and mixing it up, and we'll explain that later. But right now, let's get into cutting this up. So you want to get it about maybe an 1/8 to 1/4 inch wide. That's about how wide you want to cut it. Kind of thin. Just like so. Cutting down. And then after you get this all cut, we're put this to the side for a second. But once you get it cut, then we're going to go back, keep it stacked like this, and cut it like this. Some people prefer it like this and have it stringy. Some people prefer to have it a little more cubed. So really no wrong way of doing it. It's however you prefer the texture at the end. I like to mix it up. I like to have some of it stringy, and I like to have some of it finely cut. That way I get a little bit of both worlds. I love balance in everything, whether it be food or in life. So you can kind of see how it's chopped up here. Now, like I said, you can chop it up as much as you want. I like mine a little thicker. So, but anywho, I'm going to cut this all up, cut all these up, and then I'll come back, start massaging in all the salts, tell you how to season it, and all that good stuff. So let's get this finished cut up, and then we'll go from there. Alright everybody, I'm back here. I have everything cut up. The green cabbage here, nice and shredded. Got the purple, so pretty. Oh, got the beets here, all shredded up also. Got the parsley and the cilantro. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking a tablespoon of sea salt. Right here, we're going to mix it in with this. Now what this does is it pulls the moisture out of the cabbage and thus separating from the cabbage. And as it does this, it's going to create this rich brine that's full of beneficial bacteria. So what you want to do, hopefully you can see this here, but you want to push down and squeeze. Push and squeeze. Really, it's like massaging someone, really. So, luckily, it's another thing I do, massage therapy. So, it comes in handy right now. So as I'm doing this, you can start to feel the water, and the water will start to separate. And as it separates, you'll notice it starts to get smaller. Now this is a long process, so it'll take me about 10 minutes to really massage this well, but you can see here, probably see here, how it's already getting wet and it's getting shiny. Now, this is the beginning process. I'm going to do this a little bit longer, then I'm going to add one more tablespoon, or maybe half a tablespoon of salt. It's really, at that point, determines on your taste buds, you know. But you need at least a tablespoon of salt for every head of cabbage. This is one head, this is one head here. So I'm going to get this all mixed up, and once this is all mixed up real good, and these are mixed up, I'll come back to you. We'll start adding in our spices and everything like that, and then start the canning process. Alright, so I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back here. I have the green and the purple cabbage all mixed up. As you can see here, the cabbage and the water have separated. The salt has pulled it out and it's creating this beautiful bacteria-rich brine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add all the seasonings that you want. I prefer the parsley, cilantro, and turmeric, or turmeric, however you want to say it. So, I'm going to wash my hands off real quick, and then come back and I'll show you how I prep my herbs. Alright, all ready here for the spices. And then the herbs. I have some turmeric here, which is excellent for anti-inflammatory properties, amongst a million other things. I won't go into everything. The cilantro right here is excellent source of fiber, potassium, magnesium, vitamin K, A, all kinds of good stuff. The parsley here is also excellent dietary fiber, as well as vitamins A, C, and calcium, and it's so good at getting rid of the heavy metals in your system, you know, and just detoxifying your blood. So, what I like to do here is take the cilantro, I put it into here, and what I like to do is I like to kind of mix it around, and what this does is it kind of tears open the cellular walls of the cilantro, and it allows these flavors to really come out, you know what I'm saying? So when I go to mix it into here, all those flavors are just going to soak in that much better into the whole thing. Instead of just kind of being like you taste it here and there when you eat some of this, it'll really open those up. So I'm going to do that and throw it in here. This is 2 heads of cabbage right here, 1 purple, 1 green. So we're going to mix this all up good. Get it nice, and you'll see how the juices start to separate. We're releasing all that, you know? It's so good. I wish you could smell this. So tasty. Alright, so we got some parsley in here. We're getting some turmeric in here. I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of turmeric for the 2 heads of cabbage. Now you can do this to taste. I might put a little bit more in there in a little bit. I like to mix it up and kind of see how it's looking. Alright, so now that we got all that in there, I'm going to mix this up really good and see how the flavors are smelling, see how it's looking. Ah, it smells so good. Oh my god. And as you're looking, you're spinning, you're flipping it, you're massaging it, you kind of see if it needs more green or not. I like to see, make it look good as well as taste good. And that's really a good rule to go by as far as how much cilantro to put in, how much parsley to put in. Besides just your taste is the look. Because if it's going to be evenly spread throughout, you're going to see it evenly spread throughout. It's going to be more in the flavor as you're eating each bite. Alright, we're almost done here. We are ready to start putting all of our cabbage into the glass jars. So we're going to take these, I'm going to put it all down in here. You can do it by hand, you can do it with a wooden spoon, you can do it with a steel spoon. I would not recommend using plastic. So we're going to push this down in there real good. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill this up to where it gets to this little lip right here. Little lip right there. Get that all pushed in there real good. And then when you need something to push it down with, either like a spoon or something like that, I just use my little mortar and pestle here, and push it down in there real good. Because you want to get the cabbage below the brine. So when you push down on it, all that brine, it starts to squeeze and push up over the cabbage. So you gotta push it in there and get it real good and tight. So we're gonna keep packing it in there, keep pushing it down. See, yeah, there we go. You see that? See all that brine? Woo, baby! Some good stuff right there. So now that we fill it up there, and it's right there where I was talking about, it's right there to the corner. Now what we're gonna do is take these little guys, little lid stoppers, and we're gonna push it down in there. And what this does is it creates a barrier between the sauerkraut, well, soon to be sauerkraut, right now it's cabbage, but it makes a barrier between the cabbage and the air. So it keeps it below the brine. That way it doesn't spoil or anything like that. You don't want that to happen. Which the salt will also preserve it and prevent mold or anything like that from happening as well. Between the two, you do it correctly, completely safe, completely, so good. Alright, so there's one. One's down. Now, what you want to do is you want to jar this up like this and then sit this somewhere at room temperature for 7 to 14 days on average. You can do it in as little as 3, but it's not going to have as much flavor, as much pungent flavor. But every day you want to come down and pop it and let it burp. Because as this bacteria digests all the sugars and everything that's in the cabbage, it's going to release gas. It's going to release that. And you need to pop it every day. If not, this is going to swell up and not a good time. It's a big mess. So make sure you burp it every day, especially at the beginning. After the beginning, the process can slow down, but I still like to check it and do it every day. It's better safe than sorry, you know what I mean? So just pop it like that once a day for 7 to 14 days. So we're going to fill these all up, and then we're going to start with the beets. You're going to do the beets exactly the same way. So I'm going to get all this canned up here, and once I'm done canning it up, we'll come back and we'll have a little closure. Alright? Alright everybody, we got it all canned. So, first off, I'll show you how it looks. When you open this up, you want to be able to see your brine above the cabbage leaf. See this purple cabbage leaf right here? Hopefully you can see that. But the juice is above it. The brine is above it. That way it separates the oxygen from the cabbage. So it doesn't spoil, doesn't mold, anything like that. We have some beets over here. We have some others over here. I've mixed some of it with turmeric, some with parsley and cilantro. Give it a little bit of a mix, you know. Balance is the spice of life. So I did want to say, I used to have a lot of acid reflux. It's really, really bad. And the two back teeth of mine, actually I got real bad cavities from so much acid reflux, it ate through my tooth. It was crazy, bad time. I tried a lot of different things. I tried over-the-counter medications, I tried Prevacid, Prilosec, Nexium. Oh man, so many I can't even remember. But I also tried these like natural remedies like acid, the apple cider vinegar and like stuff like that. I tried a baking soda, I tried Tums, you name it, I tried it. And none of it worked. It would work maybe temporarily, but then it would come back even worse. So this has actually really helped me. I only eat like 1 or 2 tablespoons a day, and that keeps my stomach balanced. At first, you want to eat more and get that beneficial bacteria going, but once you balance out, you only need like a tablespoon a day to keep it at balance. And it's so much cheaper in probiotics. Oh my God. I used to spend $50 a month on probiotics that were really good, you know, and like wouldn't just eat up in your digestive system, because a lot of the probiotics you take will actually burn up in your acid in your stomach before really getting into your digestive tract, which is not a good time. It's just a waste of money. So I highly recommend eating this stuff. You can get it at jungle gyms or like natural food stores, things like that, fermented sauerkraut or fermented beets. This is one of the best that I found as far as if you want to pre-buy it is this brand here, LIV Cultured. You can get this at jungle gyms, probably through natural food stores and things. This I got at Cincinnati Natural Foods. Not what's in it now, obviously, because we like totally just made this, but the original thing that was in this. So I like to reuse cans and or glasses. I don't like to go out and buy mason jars. It's just, to me, it's a waste of money. Use what you use, you know what I mean? Like reuse, reduce, recycle, you know what I'm saying? So that's a little bit about it, and I would just, I would like to also I was thinking about maybe taking this to some farmers markets, you know, this summer. If you'd be interested, comment down below or whatever, because I would love to help you out with this. It's so tasty, and it's really beneficial to you. So that would be a good time. I'd love to meet you all and everything. So that's that. If you have any questions, comment down below, ask me, message me, whatever you want to do. But until next time, much peace and grooves. I love you all.